welcome back to my channel. My name's Angel, and this is question number 8 for the YouTube Pagan YouTube Challenge. YouTube Pagan Challenge. That's it. I've said it several times. I don't know why. It's just not coming out. Anyways, this question is, do you have, and how did you find, a matron or patron? Your main god and goddess, basically. Okay, let's see. I have had Isis as my goddess from probably the beginning of my path, although it took me a few years to kind of figure that out. In all fairness, I thought that she was a too commercialized goddess, and I really, even though like her name and everything, her presence was constantly around, I was like, no, it's too commercial. But you don't get to pick, really, who comes into your life. So, goddess Isis has been in my life as my goddess for 20-something years. And probably about I would say 7 or 8 years ago, I never really had a god. I wanted to have Osiris, but I just never connected with him. So I just really didn't have a god. But then about 7 years ago, I started connecting with Thoth, and that has been my god since then. However, actually, let me finish how they came into my life. Isis, I used to see her name everywhere, and I've always been fascinated with Egypt, so I already knew about her, and, but I was always more fascinated, I always wanted to connect with Bast, but that didn't happen. So I knew about Isis, I knew a lot about her followers, and so when I realized she was my goddess, it was because I saw her name everywhere. I saw her picture everywhere. Something would come on television. It was just crazy random stuff on the internet. It was just everywhere, and I didn't realize what that was because I was new to the path, and then I had somebody tell me, okay, well, that's your goddess saying hello. And so there you have it. Now, with Thoth, I had a couple friends that we had talked about pulling gods' names out of a hat and working with them and seeing how we connected with them. And before that, I had seen, I mean, obviously I knew about Thoth because of having familiarity with Egypt and in the mythology and the history of Egypt. And I had seen him popping up here and there, but I didn't really think anything of it. You would have thought I would, because it was kind of like Isis, just like psh, psh, psh. But no, it didn't even dawn on me. So we picked names out of a hat, and I picked Thoth. And I started working with him, and I thought, wow, yep, this is my god. So that's how they came into my life. Now, about a year ago or so, I started having some major changes in my life, in my spirituality, within myself, and I noticed a change, a big change, and I noticed myself starting to pull away from my spirituality and away from Isis and Thoth, and to where I wasn't really doing much. I initially, and it actually started a little bit before that, and I initially kind of connected that with the death of one of my friends. She was like a mentor to me, and she died from cancer, and it's still very hard for me, but it was incredibly hard for me. And I found that doing anything connected to my spirituality reminded me of her, so it was really hard to do anything without feeling that heavy sadness. So I knew I was pulling away a little bit then, but I just thought I was feeling grief. But that changed, and I started feeling very distant from my path and from really everything on my path. And I started realizing that the talents I wish I had, I have people tell me I read tarot well. I don't think I do. I have no I mean, I have some connections to some stones, but I'm not as good as some people can pick up stones and they just know, they just have that connection. I'm not good with Reiki. I mean, I can Reiki my animals, but when it comes to people, I really just don't think I have that kind of connection. There's just so many things that you would think that you would be good at, or I would think that I would grab onto, and I wasn't, and that was making me feel very pulled away. Not that I didn't believe in the stuff that I've always learned about and connected, to, but I felt distant from it. And then I started having dreams, weird dreams, and I started seeing a symbol in my dreams a lot, and a place. And it was a place that I had seen before. I couldn't connect it at first, but then I was watching a person on YouTube who posted a video of her going to Glastonbury and going to the Chalice Well, and I started and I was having dreams of the Chalice Well, which is my ring is the symbol over the well, and I started having dreams about there and different things that just different personal things, and I started having a different presence feeling. It wasn't like Isis has a very specific feeling of wrapping her wings around you and protecting you and being very mothering, and there's a loving feeling there. This was more of a intense feeling. I felt protected, but almost like a drill sergeant, just very, it was a different feeling. And there was other things that came into my life at the same time, and some information that I had come into my life that was tough for me to process. And I had spoken with a friend of mine, and I said, here's all the information. I said, is this the Morgan? Because his goddess is the Morgan. And he asked me to do something, and I told him what my response was, and he said, say hello to the Morgan. So the Morgan is now in my life. And Isis is always going to be my heart, but the Morgan is my spirit. She's my soul. So the Morgan is now my goddess. Now, Thoth and Isis are still connected to me, but they're sort of, kind of watching from a distance. And the Morgan is taking the wheel, the helm, if you will. And I'm learning a lot from her. She's very tough, but she is what I needed, and I think that's what Isis knew I needed. So that's how the Morgan came into my life, and that's also why I said in another video why my altar is in transition, because it is still not set up for the Morgan, because I still have a lot to make and to grow for the Morgan. And so once that's initiated and I have the altar, my working altar up, I will do a tour of my sacred space, because that was question number 3, is do you have a sacred space or a altar? And I have both, which we are in. So anyways, that is the long road around how I came to have the gods in my life that I do. And yeah, so that's it. So if you guys have any questions on any of these answers to questions, or if you want to know anything that I am comfortable with sharing on YouTube, that is, I'll be happy to do a video or just respond to you if it's a quick response, but I would love to do more videos. And that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and until the next video, I hope everybody has a great day, and blessed be. Bye.